Up with KREM begins now.
6 o'clock here on your Thursday. Thanks for starting it off with us here on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. Let's get right over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, what's going on in the weather department?
Yeah, another windy day. And Nicole, I know you and I were chatting yesterday that wind was kind of cold, even during the day. So at night, first thing in the morning, even more so. That's the wind chill factor that I'm speaking about. Basically, you take the temperatures, you factor in the wind, and you calculate kind of how it feels outside. The wind chill is the feels like temperature. And right now it feels like 21 degrees in Spokane, feels like 24 in Pullman. So you probably want to dress accordingly to account for that wind. And our wind gusts will still be at about 20 to 30 miles per hour again for this afternoon. So even though the temperatures themselves don't look too bad, the wind is going to make it feel a couple notches colder.
Taking a live look at traffic now at I-90 and Harvard Road this morning. We don't have much in terms of traffic quite yet. Still a bit early, not too many cars on the road. I'm looking at our traffic maps, and pretty much everywhere across I-90 and our other major highways look like this if you're heading out the door this morning.
We have new information about this stabbing in North Spokane over the weekend. Yesterday, police shot and killed one of the suspects.
Also yesterday, a second man police think was involved in the stabbing appeared in court. Court documents show that 28-year-old Jonathan Woodcock is facing a second-degree murder charge as either an actor or accomplice. Police have security footage from the Rosars across the street from the Apple Tree Inn. It shows two men running from the motel after the stabbing and getting into Woodcock's truck. Detectives then used flock cameras to find Woodcock fuel up the truck in Ellensburg Sunday evening. A judge set his bond at $1 million. His next court appearance is scheduled for March 3rd. As for the man police shot and killed, we still do not know his identity. That shooting happened just down the street from Audubon Elementary School.
Police say the suspect was armed with a gun and not cooperating. They got a tip he was one of the suspects possibly connected to that deadly stabbing that happened over the weekend. When they confronted him, police say the suspect tried to run away by jumping through neighbors' yards before he ran into police.
Around like 1:30-ish, I had noticed from my kitchen window that kind of faces the alley a bit. I saw red and blue lights, and I heard, I want to say at least 5-6 shots ring out, and I thought, this isn't going to end well.
Police say they tried to save him, but he died on scene. Officers involved are on administrative leave, which is standard protocol. The Spokane Independent Investigation Response Team is taking over the investigation. Tracking today, the trial continues for the woman who allegedly shot and killed her father back in 2024. Court documents show 33-year-old Alyssa Bradburn called 911 on herself after the shooting.
Yesterday, the jury heard opening statements from both the prosecuting and defense attorneys.
She shot him twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the forehead, just to make absolutely sure he was dead. Timothy Bradburn would be declared deceased at the scene.
She has made no attempts to obscure or hide her actions. In fact, she called 911 immediately after the incident occurred, and then she cooperated fully and voluntarily with the investigation.
Court documents show Bradburn allegedly planned the shooting weeks in advance. They say she was practicing at a local range. She reportedly told authorities her father, Timothy Bradburn, was emotionally abusive towards her and physical with her dogs. She also said when she was younger, he sexually assaulted her. Well, nationally, President Trump heavily criticized mail-in voting during the State of the Union address. Now, Washington leaders are weighing in.
The president says he wants to get rid of vote by mail and require proof of citizenship for voters. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs says the Save America Act would make elections costlier and would disenfranchise voters, and everyone in Washington would have to re-register. Hobbs says he wishes the president would focus on cybersecurity risks.
That's horrifying to even say that, because now you're setting up expectations that if the party they're directing the attack to wins, then obviously they're cheating.
According to the Secretary of State's office, since 1982, Washington has had 15 cases of non-citizens voting. Meantime, State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh believes voter fraud is an issue. He backed an initiative last year to require written proof of citizenship to register to vote.
What we're asking for is a higher level of security of an ID check when you're registering to vote, not when you're voting. We're trying to make the reform at the point of registration, and we believe that would be enough to clean up the voter rolls and keep them current.
If Congress were to pass the Save America Act, Hobbs says the state of Washington would sue to try and block it.
WSU sanctioned its Sigma Chi fraternity for hazing and underage drinking. The university decided the fraternity would lose recognition for 2 semesters. In order to get it back, they have to stay alcohol-free for 1 year. The fraternity also has to submit an organizational plan for member development. Now, 2 hazing events last September sparked all of this. In one, a student was told to carry something around at all times, and in another, somebody underage was given alcohol.
New this morning, the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has overturned a judge's finding that BNSF Railway contributed to the deaths of 2 people in Libby, Montana, exposed to asbestos. A jury last year awarded $4 million each to the estates of the people who died in 2020. Attorneys for the plaintiffs blame the railroad for allowing asbestos-contaminated mining material to accumulate in a rail yard in downtown Libby. BNSF argued it was required under law to accept the asbestos-tainted vermiculite for shipment from a nearby mining operation and had been told it was safe. Caught on camera, a scary sight in Omaha, Nebraska. Take a look. A sinkhole suddenly swallows vehicles at an intersection. This happened near the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Well, people jumped in to help out people out of their cars, and luckily the drivers here, they are okay. They were not hurt. Omaha Public Works says a water main break caused this sinkhole.
Time is 6:07 as we look at our forecast today. Should be another fairly windy day overall, making things feel just a bit colder than what our low and high temperatures will ultimately be today. Also a little bit cloudy this morning, but also like yesterday, we probably get a few peaks of sunshine in the afternoon. Things are feeling very similar to what we had on Wednesday, and honestly, with no change to our overall weather pattern, got no reason to change things all that much. Current wind chill is 21 degrees this morning and a high temperature of about 45 this afternoon.